We are here to inspire, inform, and connect a community of entrepreneurs. This is Business Rockstars. I'm Pat O'Brien, a rock star today. Can I call you a rock star, Jeff?
You can call me a rock star.
Well,
that's my area.
Jeff Potter, CEO of Surf Air Airlines. And it's sort of the new trend in almost like having your own airline, right?
It is. It is. I think our
airplane, I mean.
Yeah, the own airplane, but it's really about delivering an experience. So we all know no one who's flying commercial is getting up and say, I'm excited to go to the airport. Me. Nobody. But what we do is we do two things. One is we provide you that opportunity to have a private aviation experience, which means private terminals, personal concierge. But at the same time, we do it in a way that with the shared use model, which is simply you're going to be sharing the airplane with other folks that have the same travel schedule. And what that does is it allows us to fish from an audience that are looking for affordability. So it's not focused on the top 1% or 5%.
It's affordability.
It's all about affordability, and it's all about giving back our members' time.
And there's nothing like flying privately. I mean, it's
nothing.
The worst drug available to mankind.
I will talk about it, but I grew up in commercial aviation, and Surf Air is the way to travel.
What was your first job?
First job was I was an aircraft cleaner for the old Frontier Airlines. There's been 2 iterations of Frontier, and it was back in, well, a while ago.
Okay.
When I was in college and got
inside or outside?
It was both. Yeah. Inside, I was dumping the Johns with the blue water, but did that. Decided I wanted to take a little deviation in life, spoke to my parents, and was offered an opportunity to be a ticket agent. Mm-hmm. And first piece of great advice as I was looking to what I was going to do in life was from my dad, and said, try it, you got a year. And if you found your passion, great. If not, you're coming back finishing school.
Right. I don't know how they did that without computers.
Well, we had computers, and here's an interesting commentary on the commercial aviation today, is most of the computer systems used by the major airlines are 1960s, 70s vintage, and I came into it in the 80s. And when I ran the new Frontier Airlines in the 2000s, that system, I could literally, like a bike, I learned it in the early 80s, I came back to it, and I could actually, I had a pretty decent working knowledge of the new system,
Right, well, seems to work.
Yeah.
The worst job you ever had, was that it, cleaning airplanes?
No.
I thought they dumped those toilets out over
dumping the toilets was not pleasant, but you know what? I think it has a lot to do with just starting your day, starting your career, and wanting to be the best. I've joked with people, but I'm only half joking. I thought it was a darn good aircraft cleaner.
People at the upper levels, if they haven't done every other job, in my opinion, are never going to be
I agree. It worked in my favor because I was an aircraft cleaner, I was a ticket agent, I was in cargo, I was a baggage handler. So when I got to the point where I was at that higher level and I could relate to experiences when it was snowing, when we had delays, when we had mechanicals, I had a special relationship with that situation and with those people going through it that I think served me very well. The worst job I ever had was, I've been very blessed. I've always had great mentors. I've always had great jobs. Typically when I've had a poor job, and thankfully it's only been 1 or 2, it happened to do not with the job, but the atmosphere and the environment of which that job was. It was getting into management, and you get into some personalities that you just chalk it up.
We know about that.
Yeah, you just say life is too short.
Yeah, not here, but at television business.
You bet.
Full
I can imagine.
Did you always want to be an entrepreneur, do you know? Or?
No. I come from a military family. My dad was a career helicopter pilot in the Air Force. My brother, both sisters, are all retired officers, different branches. And I joined the Marines when I was in college, and it was their version of the ROTC program. And so I was destined to be Goose in Top Gun. I was going to be a naval flight officer in the Marines because my eyesight wasn't good, and
that's how I stayed out of Vietnam too.
Yeah. Well, I got thrown a curveball, and they told me my junior year of college that I couldn't do that because they were getting 1 single seat fighter. So it threw me a pretty huge curveball, and it pushed me into a situation that I was a cleaner. I got offered a job. I had this incredible sense of curiosity, like a sponge.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Right.
Took, again, I had a lot of good mentors.
We are here to inspire, inform, and connect a community of entrepreneurs. I'm Pat O'Brien. This is Business Rockstars. He's Jeffrey Potter, or Jeff Potter. Does anybody call you Jeffrey?
Jeff.
Okay. CEO of Surf Air. We're going to get to that in the next segment.
Okay.
This whole journey, though, do you have a favorite entrepreneur?
I have a favorite.
Howard Hughes.
Well, Howard Hughes was fantastic. A lot in the era, probably entrepreneur of really innovating an industry in the early stage. You know, we don't typically think of a lot of innovation occurring in the airline business because it's so regulated. But
it's also subtle.
It's also subtle, yes. But you know, Herb Kelleher, to me, who I've been very fortunate to get to know, and when he founded, along with some others, Southwest Airlines, it represents such a broad spectrum. It was affordability, but he also taught the airline industry, which is a very labor-intensive, very union-intensive. But he taught us a lot about culture, taught me a lot about culture and how you manage that through this fantastic growth trajectory that they've had. And taught us a lot about transparency and how you run a business. Whether you're an aircraft cleaner or a ticket agent, you have earned the right, because you are part of that company, to understand what's going on with the company.
You know what that airline did for me was, A, they're always on time.
Always on time.
Or most always on time. They're clean, and even though it used to be really crowded, remember those seats? But now they've expanded that out, and it's brilliant. Right. I fly them wherever I can.
It's brilliant, and I think the other thing, again, this is a low bar of expectations for many people, for many businesses. But the fact that he has, or Southwest now as a company, has managed expectations. You may not like it, you may not prefer to fly them, but when you do, you know you're getting peanuts. You know you're getting ABC boarding. You know exactly, and they are as good as... It's a routine, and they're as good as I've seen any company in any industry delivering on that promise.
So your background is pretty much all in airlines. And
pretty much all in airlines.
What was the fascination with that?
Tough. The pace. The pace of it and the challenge of it. It's very humbling.
Can you fly?
Am I a pilot? No, I am not a pilot.
Okay.
And
if I see you in the pilot seat,
you just get off the other side. Yeah, you don't want to see that happening.
But I mean, was there some fascination with?
It's complex. It's so complex. I started at a stage where, again, I was a sponge. I was a ticket agent in Oakland. I took 2 days off. I was the lowest person on seniority in the old Frontier system. I was a baggage handler, ticket agent, and I found a guy in Denver who ran schedules for Frontier. I said, I want to know how to do this. Would you give me some time? Every Wednesday of every week, he gave me 4 hours.
That's the way to do it.
It's a way to do it. I learned a lot, and when they finally had an opening, I had become somewhat of a pest, or at least a known entity to them, and they allowed me to join the staff there. Did
you have a good mentor to help you along with this venture, Surf Air?
With Surf Air, I think the interesting thing, I have a lot of good mentors, and I think the interesting thing about Surf Air, again, because it's in the, I really believe we're a membership club, or we're a hospitality business. We happen to fly planes. So it was probably my experience with Exclusive Resorts, which is owned by Steve Case, who's an extraordinary entrepreneur and businessman.
Visionary.
And a great visionary. And a guy that has that visionary status over 2 to 3 decades. It's really amazing how he remains, no pun intended, on the leading edge of really what's happening, not only technology-wise, but when he asked me and allowed me to join Exclusive Resorts, I learned about Membership Club. I learned about the quality, the importance of that sense of community, which you don't find in the airlines. Those are customers, and there's a difference between customers and members. Members have this view, like employees, they want you to be transparent. They want to know what's going on. They want you to succeed. They want great status, and they want genuine behavior.
Right.
And so I think Steve, or at least that experience at Exclusive Resorts, acted as a mentor as I came to this.
We are here to inspire, inform, and connect a community of entrepreneurs. This is Business Rockstars. Back in a minute. We are here to inspire, inform, and connect a community of entrepreneurs. This is Business Rockstars. I'm Pat O'Brien. This is Jeff Potter, CEO of Surf Air Airlines. So what's the whole, welcome again, what's the whole concept behind Surf Air? I know a lot of these member airlines are sprouting up everywhere now.
They're sprouting up, but I think we're still one that is very, very different because it is, you pay a monthly fee and you fly as much as you want. And it's, there's no additional fees. You're not going to get up and pay a baggage fee, pay a seating fee, any of this. And so that's the elevator pitch. Along with that, what you get is it's actually very affordable. It's not to the top 1%. And you get a private aviation experience. And if you think of it this way, Pat, I mean, time is the new commodity. Yep. And so when you're flying from LA to San Francisco, for instance, you're getting to the airport an hour, hour and a half early. You get at the other side, you're in the airport or in the facility for another hour. If you fly Surf Air, you're doing it in the same general economic window. But the fact is, we're going to save you about 2 hours every time you fly. And we're not going to tell you how to use your time, but we all value our time.
Because of the baggage and the TSA.
The baggage, and you know, just the environment of which you find yourself in. It's calm, there's not a rush, there's not this mass of people in the terminals or a mass of people in lines. You show up 15 minutes prior, you're checked in by the concierge. And by the way, we have private concierge in every airport, and typically our members fly out of the same airports. 80% fly between 2 points. You get to know the concierge. You actually get to know the pilots, because unlike major airlines, our pilots start and finish their day in the same spot, which means that's typically where they live.
Is it profitable? I'm pretty sure it is.
We're not quite profitable, but we're on a gross margin basis, we are.
Yeah.
It is, unlike a lot of tech companies, it's a very capital intensive. Even though they're smaller planes,
it's fuel.
It's fuel and it's capital intensive. You have to buy the airplanes or find a leasing partner.
But you have a whole new group of people, millennials, who got a few dollars here and there.
Sure.
And you can grow your business, right?
Oh, absolutely. California's a perfect place to start. So you have entrepreneurs, you have law firms, you have just people that are going between
quick flights.
Quick flights, you know, they're an hour and a half segment. And so California is a perfect place. In mid-July, we announced that we're starting Surf Air Europe. So it's such a different animal for us over there. We've got a separate team that we put in place. The gentleman that's going to lead that for us is ex-British Airways, ex-Travelzoo. So got this incredible pedigree and knows the market. So we're working towards, I'm not sure we'll get it up and going by the end of this year, but our ultimate goal is to get it up and going by early part of next year.
What would it take to get Surf Air to go coast to coast, or don't you want to do that?
Well, coast to coast, our aircraft right now, the model is actually very similar to Southwest in commercial. It's about asset utilization, so 1.5 2-hour flights, so you can provide more capacity, more flexibility for the existing members. And what happens is, does the model work coast to coast? Yes, but at a particular price point, which is very different than the price point that we're...
You got to fly at a different altitude. And
different altitude, it's jets.
Yeah.
And the fact is, you fly coast to coast, you basically get one round trip out of that asset. With ours, we're basically flying anywhere from probably about 3.5 round trips a day.
Right. The word membership means something on that, right?
It does. What you're doing is, now we're not requiring an annual membership. What we require is a 3-month membership, and then it goes monthly. And what that does for us, it gives you a little bit of flexibility as a member. But the way I view it is, it also puts a lot of pressure on the organization, needed pressure, on delivering on our member promise. And so from a business perspective, that's part of it. From a membership standpoint is, you have like-minded people. You might be an entrepreneur or you might be a dentist. The fact is that you're a member of the same group, and you a lot of times will see the same faces. You know, you start to build this sense of community. At the end of 2015, we had over 11% of our members that actually did a business deal with fellow members on an airplane.
I was going to say, you should get a fee if they close a deal on one of your
Great
planes.
idea. So we're gonna that'll be kickstarted in January 2017.
But California is a perfect place for that because there are a lot of short, important trips to take, right?
There are a lot of short, important trips. So, you know, we fly 3 markets in the Bay Area: San Carlos, San Jose, Oakland, Hawthorne, Burbank in the Basin, but we also fly Santa Barbara. We fly Truckee. We have a great market.
Fly to Truckee?
We fly a Truckee. We have this great market from the Bay, second homeowners to Truckee, and it is booming. We also fly to Carlsbad. We fly to Monterey. We fly to Palm Springs seasonally. So the growth that we see, I might point out, we have 65 airplanes on order. We have 12 currently, but we have 65 on order to be delivered over the next 5 years. So we see at a minimum that level of opportunity in California. But, you know, we also want to expand our footprint interstate and look at some other regions that we think will work very well.
So there's not a huge line of these private membership club membership?
There's really not. What you see out there is you see a lot of choice, but a lot of different choice. So you have fractional owners, ownership clubs.
Right.
You see a lot of jet.
I've seen them all. Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen them all. You have some that have come up recently, but there's still, it's not all you can fly for one fee. It is a deposit. It might be a club, but it's a deposit, but you still have to pay on a block hour basis. So if you want to fly from here to the Bay Area round trip, you know, you're going to pay $3,500 a block hour, best case.
Is the key, we were talking about the future. You said you got 65 more planes coming. Do you want to like stay kind of compact and not expand into the 727s?
I would suspect we'll never expand to that large, but we've spent a lot of time evaluating the jet market. And what the jet market brings to us and brings to potential members is the potential East Coast shuttle, or even flying up to Seattle from the LA Basin. Or so the longer haul where really the comfort level and the experience that we want to provide our members on the Pilatus PC-12 aircraft, which is a great airplane, but we're not going to go beyond the hour and a half, 2 hour segment.
And there's really no point, right? Because
there's really no point.
There's enough business out here to...
There's enough business and there's enough market potential that we really don't need to do that.
Why Surf Air?
Surf Air was chosen not, surprisingly, for the surf in the oceans, even though there's surfboards in the office. It really has to do with your ability to surf the skies and have the freedom and flexibility to surf the skies, again, without getting nickel and dimed by your choices.
Is it easy to book a short-term, a short notice?
Easy, yes. If you have, as a member, you have a mobile app and you can book basically in 20 seconds.
Right, really?
It's so quick. You just say from, to, boom, and it tells you what flights are available. It's important. Actually, it's an important distinction of what we do versus some of these others in the space is we are scheduled. So it's not ad hoc on demand, because what our members want is they want to know that they can set up a meeting on Wednesday. They want to know when they're going. And so we focus very intently on our on-time performance. But you just say from, to, and Hawthorne to Oakland, and it will give you the list of flights, and it'll tell you how many seats are available, and you book. There are on very few occasions where the flights might be full, because again, it is a shared model. And what we have found, though, again, with our members is their willingness to, because they love the service, their willingness to be flexible. So in the airline business, you'll see Sunday night, Monday morning peak, Friday night peak. Right. In our business, what we see is Monday through Friday almost equally steady.
Jeff, thank you.
Pat, my pleasure.
I'll see you on Surf Airlines.
I hope to see you soon, Pat.
Surf Air.
That would be great.
We are here to inspire, inform, and connect the community of entrepreneurs. This has been Business Rockstars. We'll see you next time.